In this video, I'm going to teach you about the different types of fiber to the home architectures that are used and the differences between them. Now with fiber to the home, there's only two types of architectures. Those are point-to-point networks, which are Ethernet based and active Ethernet network, and you get point to multi-point networks, which are usually passive optical networks. Basically the difference between the two is that with passive optical networks, you are sharing resources and equipment, fibers, the thing that broadcasts the signal and whatever. Whereas with the active Ethernet networks, you have a dedicated link to your service provider's equipment. You're not sharing resources and you're not competing for bandwidth, at least to the switch. So let's start with passive optical networks. You get different types. You get GPON, EPON and BPON. Where GPON being gigabit passive optical network, Ethernet being Ethernet based passive optical network, and BPON, which is broadband possible network. The BPON one is a legacy standard. The only ones you're dealing with are GPON and EPON. But from they all are based on the same sort of systems and principles, and I'll explain how that works now. With the passive optical network, at the exchange, wherever this equipment is housed, you get what is called an optical line terminal. That's just a really expensive laser, which you're then sharing with up to 32 people. So how it works is you go from the optical line terminal, and either at the exchange or in a roadside street cabinet or a manhole, there'll be a thing called a splitter. And a splitter is just really a beam splitter or glass prism. If you remember from science in school, you probably have seen that picture of a prism where light enters the one side and different colors come out the other side, and that's exactly how it works with fiber to the home. We're using a beam splitter to broadcast that light signal with up to 32 people, and it will branch off, and it's just one single fiber that goes to each unit, and inside we'll mount a unit called an ONT, or an optical network terminal, which basically allows you to access the fiber network. It's normally, think of it like a modem. It's just the thing where you can plug in a normal router that you can get off Amazon or Maplin or wherever the hell you live in the world, and you can use Wi-Fi and whatever. That's how it works. So you have an optical line terminal at the exchange or wherever the equipment is housed. It's then split using a splitter, and then it's broadcast out, and that's how it works. The disadvantages with PONS is that you are sharing resources, and as a result of that, at peak times you will notice a drop in your bandwidth, or your broadband speeds. It's not going to be anywhere near close as what VDSL or DOCSIS or cable would be, but there will still be a noticeable drop. The other thing is, from a security standpoint, you are basically broadcasting your data to everyone. The way that this is mitigated is that the traffic to your thing is encrypted. So only your optical network terminal will be able to read it. So it's scrambled for the other ones. And then that's how it works. It's generally cheaper, again, because you're sharing resources, so there's fewer fibers. That means there's less splicing and less labor, and that all adds up, and that's why the incumbent telecoms operators, they love these things. They're not very good though if you have what we call an open access network, basically that there are different internet service providers on the network, but there are providers who are able to do it using PONS. And yeah, but the main standard you need to be aware of, you can go anywhere in the world, is GPON. It's gigabit passive optical networks. If that's the only name you remember from this, is just, you see this, think GPON. For businesses and whatever, they use PONs that have much higher bandwidth, but yeah, we're not going to discuss this in this video. So the second type of network is what is called an active optical network, and these are generally Ethernet based. By that I mean there's a switch, which is an Ethernet switch, and it has little ports on it where you can plug in each subscriber's fiber link, and that gets plugged into a little device called an SFP, and it's usually either one or two fibers. We've been able to get it to one fiber, so we can send and receive on the same fiber, just like you get with PONS. We normally have a spare in case you have a cottage or a flat sharing arrangement or something and you want a physically separate line, but yeah, you can normally, it'll only use one fiber, but it just depends on the system, two or whatever, but using one fiber, it cuts down the cost. So you have the switch and everyone's connected into it, then it goes from there whether it, the switch is either at exchange or wherever you're housing the equipment. You have a multi-fiber cable, so again, each one has their own individual fiber, and then from a street cabinet or a manhole, you basically branch out into the homes. There's no like splitting or any sort of thing from that. And at the home is a CPE. These terms are used interchangeably, but it's the exact same thing as an optical network terminal. Just allows you to access the fiber network. As I said, you have dedicated bandwidth to this thing. So if your neighbor's streaming high definition porn in the evening, you will not see really that much of a drop in speed. I mean, normally you get speeds that are actually higher than what you're actually paying for. And if it is to drop, it will drop to the speed which you are getting. Yeah, the other thing, the security is much better because you're not sharing the links, and yeah, the having dedicated bandwidth. If you had to choose a network, this is the best sort of network in terms of troubleshooting and that sort of stuff. It's a lot easier, a lot better bandwidth management and that sort of thing. Yeah, there's not much else that I can think of to say, but yeah, the only thing is it's more expensive because it's more fibers, more resources, more equipment, more ducts underground, that sort of thing. But yeah, that is it's the best sort of architecture you can go for. So that's really all I want to say. I hope you found this video informative and I haven't just been waffling on the whole time. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the description, in the comments section below, and I'll have a look at them and try and address any issues if there are there. If you like my videos, please subscribe and I'll try and upload more as soon as possible. But thank you again for watching and goodbye.